What's up, everyone? 2026 is absolutely stacked with incredible Switch and Switch 2 games, and today we're counting down the top 15 titles you need on your radar. From Pokemon's next evolution to a brand new Bond adventure, these games are going to redefine what we thought was possible on Nintendo's platform. Let's jump right in. Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves look like a bold step forward for the series, shifting the adventure to a vibrant tropical archipelago made of interconnected islands, dense jungles, and open seas. Instead of one continuous landmass, exploration revolves around island hopping, with new mechanics like water traversal and even underwater areas adding more depth to how you move and discover the world. The classic loop of catching, training, and battling Pokemon remains, but it's clearly built on a larger, more seamless open-world structure, aiming to feel smoother and more immersive than past entries. The new starters, Brout, Pombon, and Gekwa, bring fresh energy to the journey, while the story seems to focus on uncovering the mysteries of this ocean-based region and its legendary Pokemon. With a confirmed release window set for 2027 and being developed specifically for Nintendo Switch 2, this entry has the potential to redefine what a mainline Pokemon game feels like. Denshattack stands out as one of the most creative and unpredictable experiences coming to Switch 2, blending high-speed train control with arcade-style trick mechanics that feel surprisingly smooth and skill-driven. Instead of traditional racing, the game focuses on chaining combos, grinding rails, launching off ramps, and switching tracks mid-run to keep momentum flowing. Each level is built like a playground, encouraging experimentation with routes and rewarding precision and timing as you push for higher scores. The setting leans into a stylized, dystopian Japan, where rival factions clash through intense, over-the-top train stunt battles rather than direct combat, giving the game a unique identity and energy. There's a strong sense of style throughout, with bold visuals and fast-paced movement keeping every run engaging. With its confirmed release date of June 17, 2026, Denshattack looks like a fresh, adrenaline-fueled twist on arcade gameplay that could easily become a cult favorite. Pokemon Champions takes a sharp turn away from the traditional exploration-focused formula, putting all its attention on competitive battles in a structured, stadium-style format. Every match feels deliberate and strategic, whether you're playing single or double battles, with a strong emphasis on team building and understanding mechanics rather than progressing through a story. You can assemble your lineup using in-game Pokemon or transfer your favorites through Pokemon Home, then test your skills across ranked, casual, or private modes. The battle system keeps the core identity of the series intact, while adding layers of depth through mechanics like Mega Evolution and Terastallization, making each encounter more dynamic and unpredictable. There's no real narrative focus here. Progression is all about improving, adapting, and climbing the competitive ladder against other players. With its release set for April 2026 on Nintendo Switch and later on mobile, Pokemon Champions is shaping up to be a dedicated hub for serious battles. Pragmata delivers a distinct sci-fi experience that blends cinematic storytelling with a more thoughtful approach to gameplay. Set on a mysterious lunar research station controlled by a hostile AI, you follow Hugh, a stranded astronaut, alongside Diana, an advanced android whose abilities are essential to survival. What makes the game stand out is its dual character system, where combat isn't just about shooting, but coordinating actions between both characters. While Hugh handles movement and combat, Diana hacks enemies in real time, exposing weaknesses and creating openings, which adds a layer of strategy to every encounter. Exploration also plays a key role, with Diana unlocking paths and interacting with systems, while Hugh navigates the environment using advanced mobility. The atmosphere leans heavily into isolation and tension, giving weight to both the story and gameplay. With its unique mechanics and setting, Pragmata is set to release on April 17, 2026. The Duskbloods takes a bold step in a darker direction, delivering a gothic multiplayer experience set in a world where humanity is fading and power comes from a mysterious force known as First Blood. You play as one of the Bloodsworn, vampire-like warriors with unique abilities, each competing in intense PvP-VE encounters that blend combat against enemies and other players. Matches support up to 8 players, with shifting objectives that push you to adapt, whether you're hunting rivals or surviving long enough to claim victory. Instead of a traditional narrative, the story is woven through environmental details and character progression, keeping that sense of mystery alive while letting you shape your own path. The gameplay focuses heavily on strategy, timing, and mastering different playstyles, with a variety of weapons and abilities adding depth to every encounter. With its distinct atmosphere and competitive design, the Duskbloods is set to release in 2026 exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Splatoon Raiders takes the series in a surprising new direction, moving away from its usual competitive multiplayer focus and leaning into a more narrative-driven adventure. Set on the mysterious Spearlight Islands, you play as a mechanic, exploring alongside the deep-cut trio after a crash landing sets the journey in motion. The gameplay shifts toward exploration, resource gathering, and progression, with hints of survival elements and possible base-building systems that add more depth than previous entries. While the colorful style and identity of Splatoon remain intact, the pacing feels more focused and immersive, encouraging you to uncover secrets hidden across the islands. Story plays a bigger role this time, gradually revealing the mysteries behind the environment and its strange phenomena. With its release date currently TBA, expected 2026, Splatoon Raiders stands out as a fresh and experimental take on the series. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales, brings a fresh twist to the HD 2D style by shifting into a real-time action RPG that feels both responsive and rewarding. Set in a world where humanity survives behind protective walls, you play as Elliot, an adventurer sent into dangerous lands alongside a fairy companion named Faye. Combat is fluid and flexible, allowing you to switch between multiple weapon types on the fly, while blocking, dodging, and adapting to different enemy patterns. Exploration plays a major role, with dungeons, puzzles, and hidden upgrades encouraging you to experiment and push deeper into unknown areas. Faye supports both combat and traversal, and can even be controlled by a second player, adding a light co-op element. The story builds around a mysterious artifact tied to time itself, giving the journey a broader sense of purpose. The game is set to release on June 18, 2026. South of Midnight, Weaver's Edition, offers a distinct action-adventure experience set in a dark, folklore-inspired version of the American Deep South. You play as Hazel, a young woman whose life changes after a devastating hurricane, awakening a mysterious weaving power that lets her interact with spirits and confront supernatural threats. The gameplay blends third-person combat with exploration, where you chain melee attacks, dodge incoming enemies, and use weaving abilities to weaken foes and solve environmental puzzles. The world feels atmospheric and unique, combining grounded environments with eerie, myth-inspired elements that slowly reveal deeper layers of the story. Rather than focusing purely on action, the game builds its identity around narrative, emotion, and progression, exploring themes tied to family and loss. With its strong visual style and immersive tone, South of Midnight stands out as a memorable experience, set to release on March 31, 2026 on Nintendo Switch 2. DECAPOLICE blends detective work with RPG mechanics in a way that feels fresh and layered, set in a sprawling futuristic city filled with crime and hidden secrets. You play as a rookie detective tasked with tracking criminals while uncovering a deeper mystery that connects multiple cases. What makes the experience stand out is the use of Decasm, a virtual simulation that recreates reality, allowing you to revisit crime scenes, gather evidence, and piece together events from a new perspective. Gameplay shifts between open-world exploration, investigation systems where you build logical connections using a caseboard, and turn-based combat that adds a strategic edge to encounters. This mix keeps the pacing dynamic, balancing thoughtful analysis with action. The world feels alive with detail, encouraging you to dig deeper into every case. With its unique concept and structure, DECAPOLICE is set to release in 2026. 007. First Light delivers a cinematic action-adventure experience focused on the early days of James Bond, offering a fresh take on the iconic spy before he becomes a seasoned agent. You step into the role of a younger Bond as he undergoes MI6 training and works toward earning his 00 status, giving the story a more grounded and character-driven feel. Gameplay blends stealth, gadgets, and action, allowing you to approach missions in multiple ways, whether through careful infiltration or direct combat. Levels are designed with a sandbox structure, encouraging experimentation and different strategies, while also mixing in intense moments like shootouts, hand-to-hand fights, and driving sequences. The balance between planning and execution keeps the pacing engaging throughout. With its strong narrative focus and flexible gameplay systems, 007 First Light is set to release on May 27, 2026, bringing a new kind of spy experience to Nintendo Switch 2. Metal Gear Solid 4: Guns of the Patriots delivers a deep tactical espionage experience that blends stealth, strategy, and cinematic storytelling in a war-torn world shaped by advanced technology. You play as an aging Solid Snake, sent on one final mission to stop a global AI system from controlling modern warfare, giving the story a strong sense of closure and emotional weight. Gameplay focuses on adapting to dynamic battlefields where different factions clash in real time, allowing you to move through chaos using stealth, smart positioning, or direct combat when necessary. Systems like Octo Camo let you blend into the environment, encouraging a more thoughtful and tactical approach rather than rushing in. The experience leans heavily into cinematic presentation, with long story sequences that deepen the narrative. With its return on modern platforms, Metal Gear Solid 4 is set to release on August 27, 2026, bringing this iconic entry to a new generation. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle delivers a cinematic action-adventure experience that blends exploration, puzzle-solving, and stealth in a way that feels true to the character. Set in 1937, the story follows Indy as he investigates a mysterious force tied to ancient sites connected across the world, taking him through diverse locations like Egypt, the Vatican, and the Himalayas. Gameplay is mostly in first person, creating an immersive sense of discovery, while shifting to third person for traversal moments like climbing or using the whip. Levels are designed with multiple paths and open-ended areas, encouraging you to experiment and uncover hidden secrets at your own pace. Combat is present, but not the focus, giving more weight to exploration and problem-solving. The overall pacing balances action with quieter moments of discovery. With its Nintendo Switch 2 version set to release on May 12, 2026, it stands out as a strong adventure experience. Elden Ring Tarnished Edition brings a massive open-world RPG experience to Nintendo Switch 2, delivering the same depth and challenge that defined the original adventure. You step into the role of a Tarnished, an exiled warrior returning to the lands between to restore the shattered Elden Ring and rise as Elden Lord. The gameplay offers complete freedom, allowing you to explore vast environments, uncover hidden dungeons, and face powerful bosses, while shaping your build through weapons, magic, and abilities. Combat is demanding but rewarding, pushing you to learn enemy patterns and adapt your strategy over time. This edition includes the full base game along with the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, adding even more content and areas to discover. The experience focuses on exploration, mastery, and player choice, creating a journey that feels both challenging and immersive. The game is set to release in 2026 on Nintendo Switch 2. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave continues the series' tactical RPG formula while introducing a new setting centered around the Heroic Games, a high-stakes tournament where warriors compete for a wish that could change their fate. The story follows multiple characters with different motivations, including a young fighter entering the competition to save his father, creating a narrative that feels layered and driven by personal stakes. Gameplay stays true to its roots, with turn-based battles on grid-based maps where positioning, unit roles, and careful planning are essential to success. Each encounter rewards strategy over aggression, encouraging you to think ahead and adapt to different situations. The presentation feels more cinematic, while keeping the depth the series is known for, and there are hints of connections to past entries that expand the world further. With its mix of strategy and storytelling, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is set to release in 2026 on Nintendo Switch 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth expands the remake project into a broader and more open adventure, continuing Cloud's journey beyond Midgar into a world filled with danger, secrets, and evolving conflicts. The gameplay builds on a hybrid combat system that blends real-time action with strategic depth, letting you switch between characters, combine abilities, and adapt your tactics during fast-paced battles. Exploration plays a much bigger role, with large environments, side activities, and different traversal options making the world feel more alive and less linear. The story deepens the conflict with Shinra, while further developing the mysterious connection between Cloud and Sephiroth, giving the narrative more weight and scale. The balance between combat, exploration, and storytelling keeps the experience engaging from start to finish. With its expanded world and refined systems, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is set to release on June 3, 2026 on Nintendo Switch 2. And there you have it, the top 15 Switch and Switch 2 games that are going to dominate 2026. From Pokémon's evolution to Bond's debut, this year is absolutely insane for Nintendo fans. Which game are you most hyped for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more gaming content. See you in the next one!